Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach.
And I'm Mac.
And today we're giving our first impressions of Kutna Hora, the City of Silver. And this is a game that I've been excited wanting to play for a while now.
It's so long. We were at Gen Con in 2023, yes. And you were like, we gotta go see this game, I want to demo this game, and then nothing, and then you got it like a year later.
Did I get it a year later?
I don't know. When did you get it?
I don't know when I ended up getting it, but because I don't think it wasn't for sale there. I don't think.
No, it was still just demo.
Might have been released like at Essen, which was a month or two later, or whatever that is. But yeah, I was excited about it. We didn't get to demo it there, but I was interested in playing this one just because the component stuff looks pretty cool. It's got a lot of.
He's a sucker for shiny.
I am a sucker for shiny. You can check out our unboxing video of this one if you want to maybe see some of that shiny. Mm-hmm. That should be going up alongside this one. There's a lot of good stuff in this one. Yeah. Production value, I think, is pretty solid for being I mean, if you look at the box, black and silver, there is a lot of black in the game for the main board, but you get some splashes of color out there throughout the game, which makes it look really nice, I think.
I agree.
And yeah, so we got this one to the table. I wasn't sure how you were going to like it, and it had been a while. I didn't remember exactly how the game was going to be played, but I knew there was somewhat of a market element in the game. And I was like, don't know how that'll play at 2-player. That's sometimes a tough thing at 2-player.
Yeah. And
then it's not necessarily your cup of tea.
The old wife test.
The old wife test. How excited were you when you have these little things that are going to be changing the prices of things potentially?
The market component I definitely was super concerned about, because every time we play a game with a market component, I just die inside.
Luckily, we don't play too many.
But probably because of who you're married to. But I will say that on a scale of me not being excited at all to a little bit excited, I was a little bit excited because I really enjoyed the title of this game, and I feel like you get a lot of Paris or French or whatever these kind of games take place in, but this one taking place in Kutna Hora, I was super interested in, because I feel like you don't get that far east in some of these games, so I was really intrigued by the kind of backstory, kind of inspiration for it. So mark me as a little excited to play this game.
Were you excited for these boost your game with metal coins on the side here?
I love a metal coin.
I think
we didn't get those, did we?
We did not.
Oh, gosh.
But
we're going to have to get those.
I figured we had to try the game first, because I wasn't sure how it would end up going. And we'll have to see here how it ends up going, see what your thoughts were on it. But we did play it, and I think it was relatively approachable for what it was. So. You get this hand of cards that are kind of have two sides to them, two different actions you can take, and I think there was
a Joker.
5 total actions, 5 or 6.
Yep.
And then Joker that could play anything, but it cost you a little bit to use it. But yeah, you're using those during your kind of the round of the game. You're going to be able to use 5 out of 6 in your hand, and so I think you have a chance at each action twice, except the one kind of purple area that you're going to.
St. Barbara's Cathedral?
Yes, going to do some stuff. Get some bonuses at if you want to.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest or most interesting thing to me was that in a game where you are utilizing resources to pay to kind of place a lot of tiles out, buy tiles, or collect them or whatever, buy plots of land, it's crazy that there are no tiles no bits in this game that represent any of your resources. You just have coins. And you're using coins with that market element to, if you need 3 wood to build something, you have to pay coins, whatever the current cost of wood is, times 3. I just found that really interesting, and I didn't know how that was going to feel like it worked, but I think at the end of the day I was like, it's a really good way of not, if you wanted to cut down on your costs a little bit, it is a good way of not having to use or print out a bunch of resources and stuff that are being used in the game.
That's
Although
true.
that was kind of one of the whole draws to the game as their kind of little market system. And then it's kind of got these cards that are changing to change the prices eventually as well, and little sliders that can make it more or less, usually less, I think, than what when you moved it over, it usually it was worth less.
Yeah.
And then there's kind of that, throughout the game, you're getting like more and more production of these things, even though the prices are typically going down. But then you can take like an income turn, and it just feels like you're getting a ton of money. And then you got to spend all that money, and then get more money again.
Yeah.
I really liked how that all worked out. I actually really wanted to play it again, try this one again, because I thought the production was great. I thought the action system was simple. It made me think of like a lot of Vladimir Suchi. Is that who I'm thinking of? His games,
Maybe.
where it's usually got a big decision space, but like you got like minimal actions you can actually take. I think it's him that I'm thinking of.
If you can think of who Zach's thinking of, leave it in the
I
comments
think that's
below.
who it is. But yeah, because just simple action, sometimes it's like, I know I don't want to take this action, so what other ones do I want to take this round? And yeah, I thought every bit of it was fun. I think at the end, you do get to a point where you may not be able to do much in like the last turns, because usually to kind of place a building, you have to, it's like a 3-step process where you have to buy a plot of land and buy the tile and build a building. So it's kind of a 3-action thing, so unless you set yourself up.
Yep. It's one of those games where you have to be set for the last round.
Right.
Don't sleep on that, or you're going to get stuck.
I feel like I maybe wasn't quite set up for that. I didn't kind of think it through that much. So I think with more plays, that's something that maybe be a little bit more prepared for. But.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I actually really liked this game. I was a little surprised by that. The market, now, maybe we completely played that wrong, but I think what does it for the market is typically in a market system, if you sell for cheese, the market is going to drop by cheese and stuff. But the way that this market systems work is it's only influenced by the tiles that are placed on the different boards and stuff. So your income or buying or selling of those items plays no impact onto the market, which I think really allows you to have a marketability without overcomplicating the market system. So I think with that, and then the really kind of the nice flow of the game with those different actions and then how they correlate so well, I think it just really flowed together well when it came down to it.
Yeah, I think there was more simplicity to this one than I was initially expecting.
Yeah.
And that was in a good way. Because there's still a big decision space, but a lot of, like, you're not, like, thinking, oh my gosh, what do I can't, have way too many choices here. No, I felt, at least for my feelings, it wasn't like, oh, I've got to think of even, like, all 5 action possibilities. There was usually at least 2 or 3 of them that I knew I didn't want to do, or didn't want to do yet, maybe. So it's like, okay, which ones of these last 2, maybe I do want to do both, but which order should I do them in, type thing.
Yeah, exactly. So really good flow. I would probably give this one 6.5 to a 7, probably, with room for improvement. I don't know. We played it 2-player, and so I think it goes up to 4. So we'll see.
34 player.
Always scares me a little bit when we get into higher player counts. But I liked it at 2-player, which is what we primarily play games at.
Yeah, I would agree. I also really liked it at 2. And I'd probably give this one a 7.5, maybe going up to an 8. I'd really have to play it some more to see where it would go. Maybe it would stay around there. Maybe it'd go up. Maybe it'd go down, especially if we did play it with more players. I don't quite know how that will affect it, because there's going to be just more things kind of going on. And one of the things we didn't even really talk about, I guess, were the kind of the scoring of those tiles is a big part of the end game, and those you kind of score a lot of points by putting them next to tiles with similar symbols, which was really fun as well. And that in a 4-player game might be a little bit different feeling. I don't know exactly how different feeling that would be.
Yeah.
Because in a 2, you're kind of working off of each other, so it kind of cancels out a little bit sometimes, but
probably don't get quite as much control over where you have options, for sure. So
yeah. So we'll see how that plays with more players, but yeah, otherwise, solid game. Check out our unboxing video of it if you want to see all the fantastic components in this one. I think it's very solid production. I think this was kind of the first game, or one of the first ones, to use rewood for their kind of... There are little buildings that are used, so there are some tokens in the game. And I thought those were pretty good.
The miners were great. The little tokes were good.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know if there was anything that I'd complain about with the production.
Not that I can think of.
But yeah, go check out that video. Otherwise, if you liked the video, subscribe. Give us a like. Give us a dislike if you hated it. But otherwise, we hope to see you on other videos. And as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on our content.